Today I am joining Fanny Lora at her home studio here in Holliston. Fanny is a mezzo-soprano who is going to be performing a concert for us in Holliston at the Town Hall on March 23rd. Let's meet Fanny. Fanny, tell me about yourself and your musical journey.
Well, first of all, hello and thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am a very natural musical child since I was born. My mom said I was really musical.
Yeah.
I would sing and dance from very early on. I grew up in the Dominican Republic and I came to the States when I turned 15, so quite young. And when I knew I was here, I was determined to make my dream of studying music come true. And so I applied to Ithaca College and enrolled there and got my bachelor's degree in music education and musical performance in voice. And then I moved to Boston and eventually got married and moved to Holliston. And in those years, I really had an opportunity to dive deeper into the Spanish repertoire and Latin American repertoire in classical music. And that gave me just another chance to deepen my understanding, but also my love for this beautiful music. Did I answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. When you say you deepened it, do you mean you performance-wise, cultural-wise? What excited you about your journey in that respect?
Well, when you go to a conservatory to study classical music, it's very heavily, the repertoire that you do is very heavily Italian, German, French,
Right.
and English. And so once you graduate, you really have more of a blank canvas to really choose your repertoire and find that niche that sets you apart. For me, culturally, that is the Spanish repertoire. Even though I'm not from Spain, but I do have Hispanic heritage, and growing up in the Dominican Republic, which was conquered by, Spain, we have a lot of roots in, Spanish guitar and Spanish rhythms, which are also intertwined with Moorish Arab sounds that keep flavoring our music, which also got very colored by the rhythms of Africa through the slavery process and all of that.
Of course.
So it's a very rich music, and I feel like it's a very natural style for me and genre that I love.
I would think that that's not a genre that a lot of people get to hear, so it's especially good that you are bringing that to people's ears.
Yeah, I feel like it's both a privilege but also a mission of mine to be able to bring this repertoire to Massachusetts and beyond. This is my third tour per se, but two of my tours have been international, so I really make it a point to bring this music back to the Dominican Republic, because with me I also bring the musicians that I collaborate with, and so the dynamic of bringing the music to different places becomes just bigger and richer. My last tour was called Andaluz, and when we brought this to the Dominican Republic, I was working with a pianist from Japan, Yukiko Oba, and she's at the Boston Conservatory. And that just made the music even richer, to be able to include more different musicians into this beautiful, evocative, stylistically intriguing repertoire.
So the repertoire that we're going to hear, how did you develop that repertoire, this particular repertoire? Can you tell me about it a little more?
Absolutely. Well, I'm really fortunate to be working with Dave McClellan, which is an award-winning guitarist. And he and I used to work together at Performing Arts Center of Metro West. Dave is still in the faculty there, I'm not, but during our time there as teachers, we met and we said, we should really work together. And when that happens, it's so beautiful, because when both parties have an musical interest in repertoire, it just becomes better. So I said, Dave, I love Spanish repertoire. Would you be willing to do, something with that? And he said, actually, yes, I have some Rodrigo pieces that I think we should do. And of course, he was referring to Joaquin Rodrigo, which is the composer in the first set of our program. Okay. And so I said, absolutely, I'll look at the music, and it fit my voice, and we agreed on that. Then I said, what about Siete Canciones Populares Españolas, which is by Manuel de Falla, another one of the composers that we will be showcasing in Españolería. But then we were missing kind of like the meat of the program. And Dave had a brilliant idea, which was to look at Federico Garcia Lorca, which is a incredible poet and playwright from Spain. Had a very short life due to the fascist regime. However, he not only wrote poetry, but he also arranged a lot of Spanish music.
I did not know that.
And that is why, Dave came to me with that, but I immediately just was so interested, and we decided to pull 11 of those pieces for this concert. And so we have a lot of themes of love, bullfighting, flamenco singing, motherhood, unrequited love, loss, all this beautiful, dramatic, but also themes that make you feel like you are immersed in the culture. And I'm really excited to share this with the Holliston community.
This is really exciting. So can I just change gears a bit? What artists have influenced you in your journey?
That's such a hard question. Yeah. I really love so many artists, but Teresa Berganza was a mezzo-soprano, Spanish mezzo-soprano that I really, really love because of her agility and musical intelligence, and so dramatic, yet so effortless in her delivery. Joyce Di Donato, more of a current mezzo-soprano that I follow, and I love how she programs music that she cares about for her concerts. And closer to home, I would say someone that I admire is Juan Luis Guerra. He's a merengue artist who has made merengue known all over the world. And he has won Grammys, and he has put the Dominican culture up top for, every kind of other culture to know and to embrace. And he has done this staying true to himself. So I really admire that.
Well, I think you're going to be right up there with those people someday.
You're too kind.
So this concert is going to be all in Spanish, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to admit that I don't really know any Spanish. What should I be listening for in this concert?
Well, you should be listening for rhythmic and musical phrases that get to your heart. Okay. That you can connect with, that, my delivery will be nuanced and explicit because it's my mother tongue, right? Spanish is my first language. But you will also get a QR code with the full translations of this concert, and like a physical sheet that has quick translations that I've prepared myself just to make it more readily understood, but that the audience member doesn't have to read for too long to understand the kind of the composition of the story. Beyond that, I think when people come and they don't speak the language, it can also be a gift because they will get to get the flavor of the culture in a very musical way, that unexplained way in which we all feel music. They'll take that with them, and hopefully they will feel right at home, and they can come later and ask questions if they have them.
Great. Yeah. Well, I am very much looking forward to hearing this and experiencing culture through music, and a very different culture than what we see here in Holliston. So I think everybody will really enjoy and benefit from hearing you and your guitarist. And I really thank you for coming and talking to us more about it.
Thank you so much. I just want you to know that this has been a dream of mine to do this concert in Holliston since I've been a resident here since 2016, and it's finally coming true, and you're a part of it too. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Please join us on March 23rd at Holliston's Town Hall at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. This concert will take us to Spanish culture through classical music.
La tarara sí, la tarara no, la tarara niña que le he visto yo. Lleva mi tarara un vestido verde lleno de volantes y de cascabeles. La tarara sí, la tarara no, la tarara niña que le he visto yo. Luce mi tarara sus colas de seda sobre las retamas y la hierba buena. La tarara sí, la tarara no, la tarara niña que le he visto yo. Ay, tarara loca, mueve la cintura para los muchachos de las aceitunas. La tarara sí, la tarara no, la tarara niña que le he visto yo.
For Heartbeat of Holliston, I'm Chryso Lawless.